everyone. We're ever so thankful to you as tireless change makers for gender justice. Between April of last year, 2021, to March of this year in 2022, donors and partners of the Canadian Women's Foundation, our community of over 2,500 caring people enabled over 520 grantee programs in every province and territory to support women, to support girls and gender diverse people to move out of violence, out of poverty, and into confidence and leadership.
That's nationwide impact to be proud of. You made a positive difference in the lives of over 1 million people. And these numbers are big. That's the scope of change that we all have the honor to being a part of. But let's not forget that change happens in the lives of people like you and like me. Let's bring it to a level that we can all relate to. There are real people behind these numbers.
Only 6% of sexual assaults get reported to the police in Canada. Many survivors of abuse simply don't feel safe enough to report. Maybe they're afraid they won't be believed. Maybe they worry the legal system is too traumatizing to navigate. For those who want to report, they might need an advocate to go alongside them, someone they can trust, who really cares about them. Your support enabled our grantee partner, Sexual Violence New Brunswick, to strengthen the Victim Advocate Program. The timing here is key because gender-based violence, like sexual assault, has spiked over the last 2 years. One person who went through the program said that, without the program's help, I would have quit the legal process months ago. With the Victim Advocate Program's help, I was able to go through a trial and still live my life. I was able to see that there's more to my recovery than seeing the person who abused me in prison, that this is about me and my mental health, not him. This is one example of how you help women, girls, and two-spirit, trans, and non-binary people move out of violence and rebuild their lives.
In 2021-2022, our partners and donors enabled the Canadian Women's Foundation to invest in over $31 million into our communities. Your generous giving leads to strategic and rounded action for gender equality and justice all over Canada. You help our grantee partners provide services in their local communities. You enable learning and connecting opportunities for our grantee partners to build on their collective strength. And you also enable advocacy initiatives that spark that systemic, lasting change. The contributions from donors and partners from people like you help us meet the immediate needs of the most vulnerable women, girls, and gender diverse people, break down gendered barriers that fuel the feminist movement for gender justice.
Cela signifie beaucoup, car 30 ans de gains en matière d'égalité des genres au Canada ont été ébranlés au cours des 2 dernières années. Grâce à votre soutien, les femmes vivant dans la pauvreté peuvent accéder à des programmes d'emploi qui changent la vie. Les filles et les adolescentes peuvent suivre des programmes qui renforcent leur confiance en elles, leurs compétences en matière de relations saines, leur résilience, leur sentiment d'appartenance et leur santé mentale. Les survivantes d'abus et leurs enfants ont une chance de se libérer et d'obtenir les services dont ils ont besoin pour reconstruire leur vie. Les organisations locales de femmes et de défense de la justice entre les genres peuvent s'associer à des projets de changement pour agir sur les causes profondes des problèmes. Le pays est vaste. Il est complexe. Nous devons faire face à l'héritage du colonialisme, au racisme systémique et aux conséquences de toutes sortes de discriminations qui se traduisent par des résultats différents pour chaque personne en fonction de son identité. Il y a beaucoup à faire. Voici un exemple de ce que votre soutien généreux permet de faire dès maintenant.
In Canada, women are more likely than men to live in low-income households. Childcare and elder care pressure, little money for training and education, experiences with sexism, racism, ableism, and sexual harassment at work. There are so many barriers that get in the way of a better life. This is why your support of Women Unlimited in Nova Scotia is essential. This grantee partner helps diverse women build careers in trades and technology, fields that are male dominated. Women Unlimited tries to clear barriers in the way, providing things like childcare and transportation for program participants. One woman in the program told us, being a single mom who has only held customer service jobs, I knew that I could not continue living the rest of my life like this. I wanted better for myself. And my kids deserved better. When you're told all your life that trades are not for women, an internal fire gets lit to prove those people wrong. Women Unlimited helped me figure those things out. My confidence and capabilities are now improved, and I'm happy that I made the choice to make a change. This is just one example of how you help women, girls, and two-spirit trans and non-binary people move out of poverty into economic stability.
184 of our grantee programs serve First Nations, Métis, and Inuit communities. 219 programs serve remote, rural, and northern communities in Canada. These communities may be more isolated. They may not have stable internet or cell phone connections. Transit options may be limited. A woman may have to travel miles to get basic services. Gender justice programs here do so much for the people they serve. They know how to meet the needs of their communities, and they're dedicated to it, even as it's more challenging than ever. We're particularly honored to partner with Make Way Foundation on the Northern Strategy, guided by a Northern Women and Girls Advisory Committee with representatives from Yukon, Northwest Territories, Nunavut, Nunavik, and Nunatsiavut. They're indigenizing grant making for gender justice in the North, and they've identified 4 key granting goals. Uplift women and family and community through the reclamation of Indigenous culture and tradition, empower programming by Indigenous health and wellness institutions, and increase cultural competency in public health and wellness institutions, center and reconcile gender relationships in family and community as a pathway to end violence, and expand culturally appropriate, community-driven, and secure childcare to reduce barriers to economic independence. One grantee funded through the Northern Strategy is the Northern Birthwork Collective. It leads an accessible doula support program and Indigenous doula training that offers culturally safe, gender-inclusive care. The collective aims to grow and revitalize traditional birth and perinatal practices. And did you know that 275 grantee programs serve girls and young people? These include teen healthy relationship programs to prevent gender-based violence and programs to support girls and non-binary youth to develop confidence and resilience, right when they need it most. Listen to this.
As girls approach adolescence, they face higher levels of sexual assault and other forms of gendered violence, a decline in mental health, and negative stereotyping and sexualization. In grade 6, 36% of girls say they feel self-confident. By grade 10, this falls to only 14%. This is why your support of a girls program in Huayat First Nations in British Columbia is so important. The program name translates to steer the canoe in the right direction. This grantee partner helps girls to develop meaningful relationships while strengthening cultural identity and mental health. A staff member there told us inclusion, family connections, and time to have fun together were so important to the girls during this time when social interactions were limited to households and girls were lonely and disconnected. For many of the girls, the program provided an opportunity for girls to participate in some cultural activities for the first time. For example, many girls had never stripped cedar bark, harvested the Devil's Club plant or seafood, or paddled the Kli Ha canoe. This is one example of how you help girls and young people move into confidence, belonging, and healthy relationships that can last a lifetime.
You help build economic development for women and gender diverse people too. Our grantee partners help their participants gain employment skills, training in new fields, entrepreneurship success, and work opportunities. But did you know about our investment readiness program? It helps women-serving organizations develop innovative businesses that do environmental, cultural, and social good and generate financial resources. This unique model can help gender justice organizations both fund and boost the positive change they create. 69 organizations have become investment readiness grantee partners to get funding, training, and mentorship support.
Dans l'ensemble, vous permettez à la Fondation canadienne des femmes d'être une voix nationale forte, un leader d'opinion et un partenaire sur des questions urgentes comme les services de garde et l'éducation, la prévention de la violence sexiste, de meilleures conditions pour les mères et les proches aidantes, de meilleures conditions pour les travailleuses de la santé et les travailleuses de première ligne, et la protection des femmes, des filles et des réfugiés de diverses identités de genre. Votre soutien permet également des opportunités de développement professionnel, de formation et de développement des meilleures pratiques pour les leaders et les prestataires de services en matière de justice de genre. Nous avons organisé des webinaires sur les pratiques de décolonisation, les impacts genrés de la pandémie sur les communautés et la prestation de services, la réponse aux besoins de femmes réfugiées et des personnes d'ES LGBTQIA+, la justice pour les personnes handicapées et plus encore. Et les voix comptent, dans les médias comme partout ailleurs. Vous nous avez permis d'offrir annuellement le prix Landsberg pour le journalisme féministe, co-présenté avec la Fondation pour le journalisme canadien, en l'honneur de la journaliste Michelle Landsberg. Cette année, le prix a été décerné à Christina Frangu pour ses articles sur la discrimination dans les systèmes médicaux et juridiques. Écoutez une autre histoire de votre impact.
On average, a woman is killed by her intimate partner every 6 days. Indigenous women are killed at nearly 7 times the rate for non-Indigenous women. The number of femicides, clearly already too high in Canada, has actually gone up during the pandemic. This is not just a matter of individual cases here. These are systemic trends that need to be broken, and new safety measures must be put in place on a system-wide level, or more lives will needlessly be taken. This is why your support of our grantee partner End Violence Against Women Renfrew County, or EVA Renfrew County, is so important. In 2015, Carol Culleton, Anastasia Kuzik, and Natalie Warmerdam were murdered by their former partner in Renfrew County, Ontario. An inquest was held to understand what happened and what will prevent femicides in the future. So with a grant from the Canadian Women's Foundation, EVA Renfrew County worked with legal experts to hold public consultations to understand the changes that needed to happen from a community level. At the end of the inquest, the jury recommended that the province declare intimate partner violence an epidemic and made 85 other groundbreaking recommendations. This is just one example of how you help women, girls, and two-spirit, trans, and non-binary people move into leadership and make those all-important systemic changes.
So we've had a steep learning curve over the past few years at Canadian Women's Foundation, like everyone else has. And we've had to figure out how to bolster gender justice programs that were struggling in every region to keep up with the unpredictable community needs. And it means that we've had our own challenges in terms of being able to resource up to meet funding needs. And along with that, we've also had to figure out how to connect with people who care at a time when rallying together has been more challenging than ever.
But there's good news. We are seeing unprecedented interest in gender justice. More people want to be part of the change and to take action. We've learned that we need to focus on urgent needs without losing sight of the big picture. We need a big tent with lots of ways for people to get in on the solutions. And we'll bring these lessons into the future because shocks and shakeups will be inevitable.
So we're making other changes too. We're progressing on systemic anti-racism action plans. Our youth advisory team of young feminists is supporting the foundation to be more responsive and more relevant to young people, not just today, but also into the future. And we're launching into strategic planning so that the foundation can truly rise to the challenges of the day.
Again, our deepest thanks to our partners and donors, grantee programs, board and staff teams, and our many volunteers and followers. None of this impact for gender justice is possible without you. Read more about it in our latest impact report at canadianwomen.org. And please keep watching for more exciting updates, the ones you've made possible, because together we are tireless.
On a travaillé sans relâche. On s'est battu pour la cause. Et ensemble, on a réécrit l'histoire plus d'une fois. On a fait bouger les choses à coups de persévérance, sans jamais s'asseoir sur nos lauriers. En se disant plutôt, on le veut et on le vaut. Parce qu'on sait que lorsqu'un moi devient des milliers, des millions de nous, c'est fou. C'est ce qui nous pousse à nous tenir debout, à ne pas s'arrêter tant que le Canada tout entier ne sera pas avec nous. Nous sommes les persévérantes. Et ensemble, nous atteindrons l'égalité des genres.